Hey everyone. Hey Capricorn. Welcome to the spring equinox. Welcome to now, I guess. This moment now. Welcome to life, no matter how life is right now. I pray that you are embracing it as best you can. So Capricorn, this is for your sun, moon, and or rising placements. So if you are a Capricorn in any 3 of those placements, these messages I intend to be for you. Check your moon or your rising sign for deeper resonance in these messages for the spring equinox of this year. So no matter where you are in the world, if it is springtime now in your hemisphere, these messages are for this current season. If springtime does not happen until later on in the year, um, depending on the hemisphere that you live in, these messages will pertain to that part of the year. Okay. So I just burned some sage. I prayed. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Capricorn. What we're going to talk about in this particular reading is there are 2 things. One being your money sector, the other being your partnerships, your relationships, all of the above, whether it is your romantic sectors or your platonic sectors, family, business partnerships, okay, friendships. Um, let's go ahead and jump in, okay? We will also speak about what spiritual energies are at play and at work for you, and what they are guiding you towards within those 2 sectors of your life during this beautiful spring season. Let's go ahead and start off with the first card. I was led by my ancestors to take these readings a bit, to really carry these readings or relay these messages a bit more, just kind of a bit slower, a bit more slow than I normally do. The videos this video may be a little bit longer than normal. But I'm not really sure why I was being led to do that. I just follow my spirit. I follow my ancestors, okay? All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Let's go ahead and talk about your money first. Money first. Let's see what's going on with you guys. Let's see how you're feeling around, like about that that factor in your life. Money, a job, your career, your own business, big or small. What position you are holding currently financially. For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, ancestors of light, messengers of light, what messages do we have for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising placements for their money sector in their lives for the springtime of this year? Interesting. Who got this one? Was this Virgo? I think this was Virgo. It's either Virgo or Sagittarius that got this very same card. And sorry, guys, if you guys can hear noise. Hopefully, my mic is not picking up too much of that noise. My fiance is watching TV. We are both under the weather, so please pardon my voice. If I cough or if I seem a little nasally, it's because I am a little bit under the weather. But you have detox your friendships. I think specifically this was Virgo. This was definitely Virgo who got this one. But I would, if you have Sagittarius in your chart, then I believe Sagittarius may have gotten something similar. Your secret message at the bottom of the deck you received: ask for your needs to be met. Ask for your needs to be met. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that okay. I don't know if it's picking that up at all. I don't know why it's blurry. But it says ask for your needs to be met. So what I'm getting here as far as your money, because this is in your money sector, your friendships and who you mingle with, whether on a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis, a month-to-month basis, Capricorn. When you need something on a financial level, who's actually there? Who's actually there to answer? Are there excuses being thrown at you constantly? How much support is being offered to you in your workplace, in your workspace, whether you work on a team directly or if you just, you know, maybe you just work in a corporate environment, you work in a certain department. But there's something here of needing to really think about, specifically in the springtime, who is answering your call when you need something. If you are at work, there may be some coworkers or team members. This can also be family as well. Okay, this can also be family or a roommate. Maybe you have a roommate. But if this is not like someone you necessarily live with, again, we're talking about money here. So if there's any situation financially where a relationship began or has become toxic or has become toxic recently or in the recent past, in the past year or two, because of money, right? How often are you putting your best foot forward to provide resources, to provide money or food or place to stay, whatever, providing support, right? If there is a relationship where you are supporting that relationship emotionally, but the other person is not, they're not living up to their capabilities and their capacity within the relationship, that can also put a strain on you mentally and emotionally to where you're not putting your best foot forward at work or you're not putting your best foot forward in a project. So your friendships, the people that you spend your time with, the people who you call friend and the people who call you friend, are they showing up ready to give? Are they showing up ready to meet your needs, right? And these are needs. Like, this is not something where, like, this is not like selfish, requests. This is something where it's necessary. Maybe you've fallen on hard times at some point, but the people that you reach out to, they just never are there. They never can help you, or they're always in a really weird spot where they can't help you. There's a reason for that. But then the moment that they fall on hard times, you're available. Be very, very careful with the relationships that you're entertaining, Capricorn, at this time, specifically your friendships, because if you're putting more effort, if you're bringing multiple items to the table that can be utilized to grow a business or grow a company, right? Maybe you have maybe you have some friends who ask you for favors, but they don't pay you for it or they don't compensate you. If this is a job, once again, bottom, you also have this, it said employment change. So some of you, Capricorn, if you have Capricorn in any of your three major, your top three, sun, moon, rising, you might end up needing to change facilities, change locations. Maybe you're working under the same corporation or under the same job title. You're just working in a different location, right? You're probably under the same umbrella of a company, but you're just working in a different location. Maybe the team is better in that location. You get more support. Maybe management is just not as supportive where you work, and you need to, again, whether this is a promotion or whether this is actual you relocating under the same job title or under the same job name or the same company name, or whether this is you completely changing the company that you work for completely to find a better support system. Okay, so your support system needs to be detoxed, whether you're actually leaving a job behind or whether you are just transitioning within a job currently because your needs are not being met. So again, if you're not getting paid enough, so if you're not getting compensated for the amount of work that you're putting into a job, Capricorn, that's going to wear on you. That's going to wear on you. And I feel like these are jobs where you've actually built good rapport with some of the people there. This is a project, whether it's freelance or, contract, whether it's a contractor job or full-time, salary job, whatever, part-time, whether you've just been working there for about a year or two or more. I just get the sense that you've built good rapport with some people, but it hasn't really gone anywhere as far as the amount of support that you can count on from these people. So whether it's with your job or with a domestic situation financially, okay, there is the need to, as this card says, be discerning about your associations and relationships. You might really need to kind of pull away and kind of erase the label that you've put on a certain person. Like maybe that's your coworker friend, your coworker buddy, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your whatever label is like that person has, whoever they are in your life, Capricorn, you may look at the label first, which is totally normal. You look at the label first and then you kind of look at their actions last. That's kind of like a forethought. And you're just like, well, that's my friend. You know what I mean? We've been friends for so long. If they need something, I'm always going to be there. Yeah, they're probably not here for me as much, but I love them, or yeah, that's my sibling or whatever, right? But, or, whatever. But I'm just getting the sense that you need to kind of definitely, it's okay to have the label in the back of your mind of who this person is to you, but it's now the time to really look at their actions. It's really time to look at their actions now, Capricorn. And I feel like Saturn and Pluto, those transits with Saturn and Pluto visiting certain constellations are going to have a huge impact on this during the springtime, because we do have Mercury going direct from being in retrograde for 3 weeks, and then Venus going direct, things like that. But we still have Saturn, we still have Pluto to deal with. Like they stay in a certain house, they stay in a certain constellation for longer periods of time, right? Also Aries, Neptune in Aries as well. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in your relationship sector, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising signs for the springtime of this year. So it says you got the black bear card number 54. Sorry about the glare. And it says taming or underestimating an untamed familiar. Underestimating an untamed familiar. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can really see that properly. So there's definitely someone here that you have a relationship with who might be kind of, I don't want to say off the rails, but it's kind of like there's some structure that's needed, right? There's something in a relationship that you have with someone that is untamed. If you can just really, for those of you who are resonating so far, just really think about a person in your life. You probably already know who this is, okay? I feel like if you have to think long and hard about this person, then you probably, maybe this message is not for you. This is someone who you know there is some structure that is lacking in a relationship with this person, romantically or platonically or with family. And either communication is just not really there lately, um, or just never was, and you just kind of like put up with it for whatever reason. And you're just like, oh, okay, like that's just them. Some of you Capricorn may not have really, maybe you finally come to the understanding of how much you underestimated someone's dysfunction. Someone may have shown their anger. Could be someone that you didn't really realize where they're like how far their emotions can go, especially when they're angry. Like there's someone here who, like, bears are like, they look, they are depicted usually like, a teddy bear. You might be thinking of this person more of a teddy bear kind of a person, but given these transits, your relationship to this particular person, and this can be swapped too. This can be you, Capricorn, where someone, sorry, I just hit my mic, where someone actually is underestimating you. Someone could be underestimating you. So take it as you will. Either it's you or the other person who's doing the underestimating. But there's someone in a relationship with you or the other person, where someone is being underestimated. Someone's kindness is being taken for weakness. Okay. And I'm also getting Capricorn, you actually never know when you say no to somebody, how they'll change on you and turn on you. Maybe you did get a glimpse of it at some point and you were just like, oh, like, maybe you just kind of made the decision, like, I'll just appease this person so that way I can stay away from drama with them. But I feel like during these transits, you're not really going to be able to avoid that. You're going to have to see their ugly side, because their true colors need to come out so you can see them clearly, no matter how hurtful it is. Um, but others of you, this is swap. This is you, or someone, they see you as this cuddly bear, like this cuddly, warm, fuzzy teddy bear, right? Like, people just want to hug you. They want to be around you. They feel comfortable around you until they cross you. And this is something that I feel is going to be shown to you, or shown to somebody. Either it's going to be shown to you about somebody, or it's going to be shown to other people about how you deal with betrayal or how you deal with bad behavior when you have no choice but to react, right? When you are kind of pushed into a corner in a way, when you feel really, really uncomfortable, when someone is really pushing you to that, when they finally find that button, right? Like, I feel like what I'm seeing here is like a button, um, or some type of a trigger that, you know, a red button with like a lid on it, like that is like an indicator, like don't press that button. But somebody will find that button and lift the lid and press it without really knowing what that button really does. And that's going to be like the joke will be on them, right? Um, but again, this can be you dealing with this, you know, from someone else and their emotions. Emotions can definitely run high, since, you know, eclipse season is still upon us. You know what I mean? Um, Mars being in Cancer, you know, that's a weird transit, you know. And the bottom of the deck, we have card 77, divulging a tenacious regret. So somebody is definitely going to regret pushing a button in the springtime. Someone is going to regret pushing your button, or you might regret pushing someone else's buttons, or you may feel a bit regretful for allowing something to continue that should not have continued. So I just think that there is something that should have been said a long time ago that wasn't said, and it was just kind of covered up, like things were piling up on top of that thing until it kind of needed to breathe and needed to come up for air, like that emotion. Oh, I'm sorry, not the traveler. It says the trawler. I'm so sorry, the trawler. I don't know why my cards are like showing up blurry. It's so weird, but it's fine. Um, but divulging a tenacious regret. So somebody really regrets something. Like it's been on their heart and on their mind about this relationship, about this partnership, and somebody might end up spilling the beans or spilling that out, right? Um, like somebody, it's almost like carrying like a pot of hot water or something. Um, and you're trying to move it from one place to another, but like when at some point it's just too hot to really handle, and something, it just all spills over, like, you know, it's just, mm, it can be messy. It can be messy. Emotions can be running really high right now for a lot of us. Hmm. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that, Capricorn, in your relationships, okay? Um, Especially if you're also dealing as well with this weird job situation or this weird money situation kind of a thing, or when you're dealing with needing support, or, owing someone or someone owing you money or a favor. I don't know, but it's like it looks like kind of a sticky situation either way. Just be aware of your emotions at this time. But I do see that there is an emotion or a number of emotions that have kind of been barricaded and choked a little bit, you know, and now they're kind of being forced out. So let's go ahead and see what spirit has to say regarding these two factors in your life, Capricorn. And we're going to actually read a little bit from these cards, okay? For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the spring equinox, for their relationships and their money. Interesting. As I was about to split the deck, you have the black bear at the bottom. Yeah, somebody, okay, poke the bear. That's literally, yeah, that just popped into my head. Don't poke the bear. So it could be that there are those of you, please be careful during these transits, during the springtime. Please be careful whose buttons you're pressing. Please be careful what you say. Be careful what you say to someone, because it can definitely blow up in your face and cause damage. It can cause harm. Okay. And you know, I say this like respectfully, I ask this respectfully of you, Capricorn. But if you feel like you're not the one, you're just like, no, I'm, you know, I would never say something, you know, that I would regret, or, you know, you're more calm, cool, and collected, then this could be somebody else who ends up, they may be having some type of emotional turmoil within themselves, and they may end up blurting something out or saying something that they regret to you. Maybe they'll end up saying, like, you know, I wish you did more of this, or I wish you didn't this, you know, you know, they may blame you for something, or kind of place blame on you for something, or say something that just is just not tactful, and it just might come out the wrong way. It'll just come out the wrong way, whether they mean it or not. And maybe somebody needs something from you, or you need something from somebody else, and you or this other person may ask for your needs to be met in an untactful way. Mm, be careful. Be careful. I can't speak for the other person, but if this person does say something to you that's just kind of really out of pocket, and you're just like, whoa, like, you know, you just feel like there's more context that they need to understand before they start, you know, blurting these things out to you out of anger, out of sadness, whatever. Um, that I don't think that that's giving you the cue to fly off the handle, though, Capricorn. Okay, you just let that person show their true colors, right? That's all I'm saying. So let's go ahead and split the deck, Capricorn. Some of you guys may have Libra in your chart. You may have Scorpio in your chart. You might be dealing with a Libra or a Scorpio. You have the tarantula. Tarantula. Okay, your secret message at the bottom of the deck, you have the wolf. So fire and earth. Fire and earth here. Those two elements are here. So motivation, being proactive, motion, you know, motion, forward movement, as well as clear communication. But with the earth energy is all about that grounded energy, you know, grounding yourself, knowing who you are. That's that Mars energy, where some of us may feel a little bit mucky with Mars being in Cancer. But I feel like once Mars enters Leo, like things will feel a little bit more clear, especially after the retrogrades. Sorry, if it seems like I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm actually trying to sneeze, but the sneeze just won't come out. So my eyes keep watering. I am so sorry, Capricorn. I'm still under the weather. I'm very congested, so um, I'm doing my best to manage. So let's go ahead and read the tarantula, and that is the desert spirit or the fire spirit. Okay. Let's see, tarantula. Nope, that's the scorpion. There we are. Tarantula. At a crossroad, claiming life's purpose. The tarantula represents a moment when a great decision must be made. Again, movement, needing to move in a direction, right? It involves prioritizing your life's deeper purpose or dharma. A habit or routine from the past is sidetracking you from your dream, yet a voice inside keeps begging you to refocus your attention. In order to find true happiness, you must choose dharma. Until you do, satisfaction will be fleeting. The tarantula hovers, patient and calm, like an old friend that knows your inner soul. It already knows you'll choose wisely. Okay? So, this might be a good time for you to really write down how you're feeling throughout each day. Journaling might be good for you at this time. But looking at this, just like the card says, this spirit, it always knows you'll choose wisely. So Capricorn, you kind of already know what choices you need to make regarding your relationships and regarding your money and your money resources and your job or your career, right? A career move or a move away or towards a job. So this is also showing me that there's no need to speed through. There's no need to speed towards anything right now because the energy and the emotions might be a little bit high. So if you see that there's someone who's having a hard time in your midst or that you have a relationship with or a partnership with, um, or even if you don't really know, if you're not really sure like what people are going through right now, um, just make sure that you're kind of treading with, good observation and making sure that whatever is irritating you, just kind of take a few steps back and just be like, okay, that was annoying. If there's people who are kind of flying off the handle, you know, um, I don't know. I just feel like somebody is just really emotional right now. Um, you might actually, you might actually see it in their eyes. Like if you make eye contact with this person, you can, or they may say that they're fine, but if you look into their eyes, you know that they're not. There's like something there that's telling you like something's up, something's wrong. Um, so again, I just feel like this is a time for you, Capricorn, to really be careful with what you say, be careful with your words. Even if you feel like you're being helpful, even if, if you feel like what's about to come out of your mouth is going to help this person, just kind of think about it. Like just really kind of pull yourself back and think about it first. Getting back to the job situation, you definitely need to be very clear about what you need at work. Okay? Be very clear about what you need. Don't wait till last minute to ask for this. Like this is something that you got to make sure you're asking. You're asking for, right? Like just right up front. Just be like, hey, these are the things that I need. Like, can I please, or I need a raise, or you may need to talk to your boss. You may need to talk to somebody and just say, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what I need from my team, or this is what I need from you. This is what I need as far as like a raise or a promotion or training. I don't know. Like there's something that someone needs at work, and there's definitely some type of an emotional, like chaotic situation happening with somebody that may end up exploding at some point. So just again, just be aware of that, Capricorn. Okay. So we are going to pull one more card and then jump into the tarot, you guys. I'm going to pull one more card, oracle message, should I say, from the Kali oracle deck for some more spiritual guidance. And then we're going to pull the tarot just to kind of see who you're dealing with, zodiac sign wise, for sun, moon, or rising, to find out what type of work situation you're dealing with or money situation you're dealing with, and what kind of relationship this pertains to, at least for most of you. Okay. For Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising signs for the springtime of this year, for their money and finances and their relationships with others. So you received card number 21, 𝍊🼾🍰🧼. 𝍊🼾🍰🧼. It's a beautiful card. That's the first card I'm seeing, like a different card that I'm seeing out of like all of the readings that I've done so far for this season. Everybody kind of got like similar cards, but you, Capricorn, got a different one. Your secret message, you also have the skull here. Your secret message is Dharma of Kali. There's that word Dharma again. So the light and the dark, death and rebirth, right? Dark and light. I'm also seeing the color red and the color green here. So this has something to do with your heart chakra thing, your desires, what you need, the things that you want, your desires. And I'm also seeing the root chakra again of your identity, of where you are in, in this situation, how you identify everything around you and your relationships around you as well. So if you look around you and you look at your relationships, you look at your job, how do you identify those things? Like, are you happy with those things? Are you not? And why? Can you do something about it now? Probably not. Maybe you can, but maybe not. But with your heart chakra, how can you do something about it? And how can you move forward with what you're learning as you ground yourself and feel what's going on now? So let's go ahead and read this card, 𝑍�👼🧰, card number 21. And it says, Bhairavi is divine wrath. She demands that we meet our potential. Yeah. There is no playing small when she arises in a reading. Her appearance manifests to give us a necessary reminder to step up our spiritual game. Your commitment to the spiritual practices that suit you at this time is strongly encouraged. There are divine forces that will there are divine forces that will more than match your efforts, and a great deal of progress can be made in a relatively short time frame. If you apply yourself to a task, your progress will unfold more rapidly than you expect. You can accomplish even intimidating prospects if you harness your courage and commit to the process. So again, there is that motivation, there is that proactive behavior, that proactive mindset, Capricorn. So if you're dealing with a lot of emotions that scare you, whether it's your emotions or someone else's emotions, and it kind of has you feeling stuck, maybe your throat chakra is also stuck, maybe you just don't really know what to say, just understand that you need to really ground yourself. You really need to close your eyes and just sit with yourself, cut out all of the noise, right? Get rid of all of the noise, the unnecessary noise in your life, and live up, like really stand up to your potential here, to your capabilities, because you may be surrounded by people who are not living up to their capabilities and are expecting you to be the more capable one. And you're definitely capable, but the thing is like, so are they. Right? We all have capabilities. The difference that, what makes others different when it comes to how they live up to their capabilities is whether they're actually living up to their capabilities or not, or putting the responsibility on someone else to do it. Like if these are able-bodied people, these people are able-minded, they don't have any kind of diagnosis or kind of medical, you know, um, issue. Like if they're capable and they're just making excuses and they're just putting it on you. And even if they did have some type of medical issue, like, does it really have anything to do with you? Like, is this a family member? Is this like a close friend? Like, is it really your responsibility? Or do these people need to go find help? I don't know. There is just something here where some of you might just be struggling with like, why am I doing all this work? Why am I still working someone else's job and I'm not getting compensated for it? Why am I, you know, why am I still selling these items? If you have your own business, why am I selling these items for a low price to people who won't pay for them, pay me the money for my services, for what it actually is worth? So that, I also see, if you guys have your own business, you might need to find new clientele, right? If it's a family owned business, maybe you need to get out. I don't know, but there's definitely some situations that need addressing. There's definitely some relationships that are holding you back emotionally, and therefore it's kind of also holding you back spiritually. Like if your heart and soul is not behind what you're trying to accomplish here, and you're just kind of half-assing it because you're committed emotionally, like you have a desire, right? You have something that you want, but if you're emotionally or mentally committed to something else or someone else because of codependency, fear, doubt, whether someone is abusing you or gaslighting you or manipulating you, or trying to get you to stay stuck, like whatever's going on, you have to kind of leave that alone and take your heart out of it in a way and kind of focus on what's more important. So there's something that the universe and your aunt or your ancestors, your creator is saying, you are capable of this amazing project. You are capable of creating such an amazing thing. You're capable of building this company up, right? So why aren't you putting your all into it? Hmm. Interesting. All right, Capricorn, last but not least, let's go ahead and pull 3 tarot cards. It's going to be towards the end of your reading. 3 tarot cards for who you're dealing with in particular, what you're dealing with in particular. Zodiac signs will be listed. Well, I will list them off verbally, and then we will clarify these cards. Okay. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising signs for their spring season messages. Their spring equinox messages for their relationships, romantically and platonically, and their money. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising signs for their relationships and their money for the spring equinox of this year. Yeah, so everybody's kind of, not everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of you in these readings, Capricorn and other zodiac signs that I've read for, have received the Five of Pentacles. Like, I don't know why it's blurry. I hate that. I don't like that. It's so blurry. But yeah, like receive like the Five of Pentacles has been a big presence. And it's quite possible that a lot of us are feeling the Five of Pentacles or kind of dealing with it in a relationship or at work or in some type of domestic financial situation where you just kind of feel like um, you have to put in the extra work to survive and maintain a living, right? Meanwhile, there's someone here who might be cutting corners or something. Like they're not working as hard, or they don't have to, but they're behind this beautiful stained glass window, just living it up, right? And you're just kind of on the other side, just like, man, like, when is it going to be my turn? When am I going to be the one to be able to sit down and not have to worry and not have to pay extra or not have to get so many taxes taken out or not having to live paycheck to paycheck? When am I going to be the one? Maybe if this is not financial, maybe this is like a relationship where you just feel like I have to work so hard for this person to care, for this person to stick around, or for this person to show that they care. Meanwhile, the person is just sitting there enjoying the fruits of your labor, right? They're feeling special, but like what are they doing to make you feel like you matter to them, right? um then we have the Fool. So it's like there's some type of a decision that you are being guided to make here, Capricorn, with the Fool card. You have to take that leap, but I know that even if you do take that leap or you're kind of pushed off the edge, you're still holding on. You're still like, wait, but like, what if this does work out? What if, it's not as bad as my brain is making it out to be? But Capricorn, this is how you truly feel. This is what's really happening. It's not, it's bad. Don't allow anybody to gaslight you, or don't gaslight yourself into believing like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Well, it feels bad, doesn't it? Right? You could be dealing with a another earth sign, of Virgo. Could be you, Capricorn. It could be a Taurus. Um, then we also have Leo here. This is the Queen of Wands. So I'm really trying to get this to be able to be seen properly, but that's okay. But you have a Leo here. Maybe you have Leo in your chart, possibly. But I'm just getting, and there's also Sagittarius here. So it looks like possibly a Sagittarius has stepped forward, Capricorn. Or maybe you're Sagittarius in your chart, and if you have Leo in your chart, they're finally having a conversation. For those of you who have Sagittarius and Leo in your chart. But others of you, I'm also seeing Libra again with the wolf or the dog. You are being led to jump off of this ledge, to jump, off of this precipice. You are asked to trust the process. But there is someone here to meet you, or someone who wants to be around you. It could be a Sagittarius. But you honestly, I get with the nine of Pentacles, you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You don't want to have to work and work and work with, being given false promises, whether it's in a relationship or with a job. You just want to be able to be comfortable. You want to be able to be at peace. You want your mind to be at peace. You don't want to be, struggling here financially, or and you don't have to necessarily be struggling financially necessarily. Like, it doesn't have to be a long struggle. It could be just a bump in the road right now. But there's definitely a Leo here. Let's go ahead and clarify the Five of Pentacles. Something fell. Okay, so this kind of came out in the reverse. It was the Ace of Cups. So there's definitely a situation here, Capricorn. I normally don't read reversals, but there's definitely some of you guys, you don't feel like you're getting your fulfillment is just not there in this situation. You're not being fulfilled at all, but somebody else is. Whatever work that you're doing, somebody else is being fulfilled. And you're not really feeling like that's fair. Like, somebody definitely is sitting high on their throne, and they do not care. They do not care that you're working hard, that you are grinding. They don't care. Yeah, you're done. You're done with the Ten of Swords here. That Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy, for sure. You're done. You are ready for something new. By the time Leo comes around, the Leo season comes around this year, it's going to be better. Especially when Mars enters Leo, you're gonna understand what to do. You're gonna understand what to do here, Capricorn. All right, let's look at the Fool. Why is the Fool here? Ancestors of Light. For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Let's try that again. Yeah, thinking we got another 10 of Pentacles. It's Taurus energy. Definitely could be dealing, maybe you have Taurus in your chart, but I do get the sense that you want to, by the time Taurus season comes around, you're really going to be feeling this urge to really build a legacy for yourself, to really start thinking about plans on how to, build your life and establish yourself truly, like the way, you want to establish yourself and build on a firm foundation, either for your children, future children, grandchildren, or maybe just for yourself and your partner. You're just for yourself and your pets. I don't know, but there is like a certain way that you want to live. There's a certain type of lifestyle that you want, but it's really going to take you making a decision that feels a bit risky to you, right? It's a bit risky to you. It may not look risky. And here you are, Capricorn, with the Eight of Pentacles. So, you're ready for your work to finally pay off. That's what I'm seeing here. But you're finally ready for your hard work to finally pay off and to show, to match. You want the work that you're doing to match the paycheck, to match the money coming in, right? Or you want the money coming in and the compensation to match the work that you've done. Let's go ahead and clarify the Queen of Wands. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Why is the Queen of Wands here, ancestors? Which I like seeing the Queen of Wands, but we'll see what the card comes out. See if this is actually positive energy. I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, really sitting with yourself. Like again, grounding yourself. That's Virgo. So you have Virgo here. Some of you guys have Virgo in your chart, or there's a Virgo you're dealing with, or a Virgo that can help you through this. You might just really need to pull your energy away. Okay, because I do see Sagittarius, because this card with the Queen of Wands, I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a salamander. It's very blurry. I don't know why, but there's a salamander sitting on her throne, but her throne has Leo, and it has, on her armrest there are lions there, and there's a black cat. But there being a salamander there, that means that you are welcoming transformation. You are welcoming the flame and the fire to burn away and detox your relationships at work, detox your work environment, or detox how you're making money. And I have a feeling that somehow Sagittarius or Jupiter and Mercury, with Virgo being here, has something to offer you. Okay, so it could be in the form of a Sagittarius offering you something or proposing something to you financially, or it could be a Sagittarius proposing to you in a relationship. You may have a Sagittarius who does have a temper, maybe some truth might come out without tact, and you're just going to have to sit there and just be like, like what, and just kind of like think about how to respond without flying off the handle with them. Right. So there's some type of information that's going to be given to you here as you sit with yourself. You're going to get some divine downloads spiritually, and it's going to really touch your mind and your heart. And you might actually really need to just sit with it. This is not a time for you to rush, because, if your intuition is telling you something, that does not mean that, or you have a dream, that does not mean that you have to wake up from that dream, or you need to listen to these spiritual signals that are being given to you and rush and move with them. Sometimes we need to sit with those spiritual messages first and understand and decode them before we act on them. Because in the end, what I'm getting here, your secret message at the bottom is the Five of Swords. Bottom of that, you have the Six of Swords. Bottom of that, you have the Five of Swords. Capricorn. So this means that you are coming out of an environment that just feels so grueling, so narcissistic. You might be dealing with a narcissistic boss, a lot of, bullying, a lot of like your word against theirs kind of a thing, like just a lack of support overall. Okay, and I really do feel like this is coming from the work environment mostly, but in your relationships, I just get the sense that whoever is in your midst, especially like mostly in your friendships, you might need to just completely stop talking to some people, because they're not helpful. They're not growing you. They're not growing with you. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you have to stop, unfriend them on, social media or anything. You just might need to maybe just stop talking to them, stop getting advice from them, stop hanging out with them. And if you do hang out with them, like, don't allow them to dump on you. Don't allow them to take advantage of you. Right. But if it does kind of get to that point where you do need to say, like, hey, I don't, maybe say to yourself, like, I don't think I need to talk to this person anymore. So be it. So be it, if that's the route that you go. Okay. You know best. You know best. You know what to do. Much love and light to all of you, Capricorn. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you guys in your next reading. Bye, guys.